I'm joined by lovely Julian and Lucy, and we're here to talk just about their experience of everything that they've been through, and just life in general, just to have a chat. So good morning. Thank you so much for agreeing to join us on our YouTube channel and to share your experience.
No, it's our pleasure, to be honest.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, Julian, we've obviously known you for a number of years now, and you, Lucy. So what's it all been like for you since it sort of started? Does it feel like it's been going on forever?
I think within the last couple of years it has, just because of the changes in circumstances. Whereas before that, you couldn't really tell I had cancer as much. And I think it's only the last couple of years I felt the impact of it with cancer and the side effects of treatment, as well as other various factors that involve treatment and trying to, stay alive as long as possible, to be honest.
And you've had a number of treatments now, haven't you? What have you had?
What, specific chemos or how many?
Well, all of it, because you've had a number of surgeries, haven't you?
Yeah, I think I've had 6 or 7 maybe. Yeah, I had to have a couple extra because I had an infected bone flap, which they gave me the option to either take it out completely to avoid infection causing further damage, or keep it in. Fortunately, obviously we kept it in, and so far so good, to be honest. So yeah, the surgeries have taken this toll, and obviously where you have certain chemo and certain medications, they can cause damage to the body and immune system. So it's taken me longer to heal this time around than it has prior surgeries. So I can't really. Sorry, go on.
Sorry, what's your experience of the chemotherapies? What have they been like for you?
You know what? Some of them have been
most of them
okay.
You really well,
yeah.
well on, actually.
I think the worst one for me was the carboplatin, if I'm honest. Obviously, that was just one to try because of the circumstance. Obviously, the tumour grew to a level where we were kind of getting desperate, and there was no real other option. So obviously, we took the risk, and I think that would have been my worst one because of the side effects on that long term. I think all the others I've coped well enough, to be honest. The worst one was skin rash, the side effect, but that was on the trial drug at the Royal Marsden, weren't it? Obviously, we took that as a last resort, and it did some sort of good, but unfortunately just didn't work at the end of the day.
And currently you're having a treatment that you take daily. How's that? How are you finding that?
You know what, I'm going to be totally honest, I'm really enjoying it. Obviously, no one really wants to enjoy taking chemo, but when you take a chemo and it's working with minimal side effects.
Well, no side effects. Actually, probably on this chemo is the wellest you've been in a really, really long time, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the worst was at the beginning when I started, and that was diarrhea, which comes with a lot of chemos, but I've been fortunate, with this chemo, it's been excellent, to be honest, and obviously the latest scans showed it's been working, and that's something that obviously me and Lucy haven't heard for years, stable scans of the tumour actually showing signs of shrinkage. That's something every person with this sort of cancer wants to hear, is stable or shrinkage. Either of those are a bonus at the end of the day. So obviously we're grateful for that, basically.
And was it hard with this chemotherapy? A lot of the side effects that we talked about at the start of it were quite similar to tumour activity, weren't they? For headaches, temperatures. How have you managed that, knowing what's what and just having in the back of your mind that it might not be anything?
I don't know, because obviously you get told about the side effects. Headaches were one of them, but also a side effect of the tumour growing is headache. So it's difficult to tell the difference between the two, but I think the headache the tumour causes are much worse, because rarely any pain relief can really control it, whereas fortunately enough some paracetamol with this headache kind of helps. But I think another side effect was
Like high temperature.
High temperature, yeah, that's the one. Because obviously with the infected bone flap, an infection, signs of an infection is high temperature. So it's hard to tell the difference between the two, whether it's the chemo or is it the infection. But most times it's just been, well, I haven't had high temperatures, if I'm honest. I've been very fortunate. I think the first, at the beginning, I had a high temperature because we bought a special machine. It was kind of
thermometer.
Yeah, thermometer. So yeah. So as I was saying, machine basically. But yeah, no, we bought it. So obviously we tested it, and my temperature, I think the first week it went high at one point.
It did a little bit.
A little bit, but again, after the day after, I felt pretty normal, to be honest, with it. And yeah, I was just happy it wasn't the infection kicking up, because that's obviously, we got warned about that obviously before we left hospital to keep an eye on it. And as I said, I've been fortunate. We've both been fortunate, basically, with it all.
And after your last operation, you've had a rocky recovery, I think it's fair to say, with Lucy having many a sleepless night before you actually made it out of the hospital. And but you have made, I mean, we saw you last week in clinic and you walked, the week before in clinic, and you walked in, leaving your side, which is a world away from where you left hospital. How have you managed it? How have you made that recovery?
My mentality's been good, but I've got a good support network. Obviously, as you know, Lucy's been there from the beginning. When I was in hospital, she was driving 4 hours every day to come and see me and come back and try and keep me going. Even the days I wanted to kind of sit there and just give up, she wouldn't let me. I don't know why, but at the end of the day, that's the whole point of having a great partner in this sort of. I'm very lucky to have her, in the sense, like, if I didn't have her, I'm not gonna lie, I probably would have given up and wouldn't have been motivated to try and walk again, or try to get better and get stronger at the end of the day. Because it's easier to give up at the end of the day, isn't it? Yeah. Most people would rather give up than carry on. And obviously, as you know, my experience in hospital wasn't straightforward. We had the lumbar drain, CSF leaking, the wound wouldn't close. Then I had that obviously big seizure, which I've never had before. So
I think as well, like, you didn't want to go through all of that for nothing.
Yeah.
You don't want to go through all of that, put your body through all of that stress.
Yeah.
For 5-6 months whilst you were in there, to come home and not have any quality of life from all of that.
Yeah.
So I think you had quite a lot of determination that was all going to be for something as well.
Oh no, of course, yeah. At the end, Lucy did keep telling me, like, look, you're doing all this, and obviously at the end of the day, your team helped me a lot, and I didn't want to give up, because you lot didn't give up on me even when there was no treatment. You lot managed to find me some sort of treatment and agreed to do surgery, even though most people wouldn't have. And I feel like I didn't want to let your team down, even though I know it's your job as well, but I feel like I've built a nice rapport with everyone at the hospital. Everyone knows me well. When I walk in, I'm like a tourist attraction now. So yeah,
you have a lot of cheerleaders, don't you, that want you to do well. So you want yourself to do well as well, because there's a lot of people that want that for you as well.
So like I said, I've got a great support network, whether it's with the hospital team or Lucy, getting me going, basically, with it all.
Yeah, and you have done amazingly, but your motivation is so obvious, and it's been so evident even when it's been really hard. And Lucy, you have been next to that man's side through absolutely everything. How have you managed your experience of it? Because obviously, you're there as a partner, but sometimes it's also a carer, and you've got lots of different roles.
Yeah, I'd say definitely when he went into hospital for such a long time, our relationship probably did change during that time to more of a carer and a patient relationship.
Yeah.
So that was probably, it was quite challenging for me to sort of get my head, get myself into that role, rather than sort of more of being your partner.
Yeah.
But I think because Julian's so positive and motivating, I can't allow myself to be anything other than that for him as well, because I know that's what he wants, so I have to do that for you as well when you're not able to.
That's like I said, like she hasn't given up on me, like most people would have, or most people have done in the past, if I'm honest. Like she's just been legendary throughout the whole process, and that's just an understatement, and there's no words to describe what she's done. Like she's made me, you know, she makes me do my supplement, she makes me eat well. We do treat ourselves to the odd takeaway like anyone would, but I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't even know how she stuck by my side, to be honest, because as obviously some days are tough and I get a bit, for side effects of treatment, I get a bit aggy. Well, she says Agatha, which she calls me Agatha basically. But
the changes can be frustrating, can't they?
And it's them days where I just get frustrated with something. She somehow keeps me happy, and I don't know how, because I'm difficult to keep happy sometimes. Whether it's the food or even just silly little things she does, it just keeps me going. And like I said, I can't give up on that at the end of the day, because it's not easy for a carer. Like for any carer, no matter what the illness they're taking care of, it's very difficult, especially when they can be moody or have bad days. That they've got to, because they're struggling as well. Like there's days she struggles and she still has to take care of me, even in them days she struggles. So like her, I don't know what the word is, but I'm going to say motivation to keep me going is mesmerizing. It's a good word, that.
It's a great word. And in terms of your relationship, what do you do to try and make sure that you prioritize that? Have you had time to prioritize that?
I think we try and have like date days, don't we, still?
Yeah. We try to do everything, as in we still go for food. We love food, so we always go for food, different restaurants. I think that's the main thing. But we try our best because obviously with my ability to not be able to walk as far at the moment, we got to be limited of what we do, so I don't get too tired, because if I walk too long the day after, I feel very tired, and then which is fine, you know, but it's just getting that balance. So to do that, we
still do the same things, just slightly adapted, and probably plan the day out a bit more than we normally would. We sort of, where like if you've got limited mobility, if you go out for the day, you'd never think twice about just wandering. I'll always look at where we can park and the closest place to park to where we're going, to make it as the day still as enjoyable as it would have been when you had like full mobility. So we just try and plan things out a bit better to make it easier.
That's so it's as normal as it can be for the circumstances. Like Lucy said, mobility, we have to plan ahead. Obviously that blue badge is very handy. We get to park anywhere we want, really. So we have a normal relationship as we can, considering the circumstances.
And am I right in thinking that you're working together now? And what's that like with what I see as your beautiful clothing that you've got on today? What's it like setting up a business together?
You notice?
I'm absolutely loving it. You both look amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, no, you know what it was? It's been a dream of mine to start a clothing line. It's not one, I don't want to go worldwide or global. It's not like planning, but it's just something we spoke about. I mentioned it to Lucy at the beginning when we were in Croatia.
Yeah, a few years ago.
A few years ago now. And then I woke up and obviously I came up with the name Dying Alive. And then she was like, actually, it's got a good ring to it. So I thought, okay, cool. That was the plan, basically, to try and start something at the end of the day. So we came up with that idea.